Let's make an Apex Legends tier list based on how fun legends are, because I think that's like the most important thing for 90% of players. If a legend is fun, they're also probably quite powerful as well, so you could use this for like the majority of ranked and get by pretty well. But this isn't like super sweaty meta stuff. It's focused more on the most fun legends to play in the current version based on their kit and their abilities. And we're going to start off with, I think we'll go straight into the fun stuff. You know, tier lists always start with F tier, but we're going to just go straight into it with Ashe, because she is the most fun character currently in the game. There is no doubt about it. The dash just feels so good, and honestly, I want the dash on every character. It's a shame that the cooldown is a bit longer now. They did nerf it, but it's still very fun. I literally want the dash on every character. The next most fun character has to be Sun Wukong. Wait, hang on, that's a different game. Oh yeah, the game that's supporting this channel. Yeah, it's that game that everybody memes about online for sponsoring every single YouTuber. They sponsored me, yay! Thanks for that. Yes, it is that game. Now, I'm not going to try and tell you this is the best, most amazing thing you're ever going to play in the world, but actually, it's genuinely kind of fun. Like, I've been playing this game because of the sponsor, and there's actually quite a lot of things to do in it. I don't think people realize quite how interesting it is. Like, okay, so for example, I've been playing this quite a lot. I've built up a fair amount of champions, and at the moment, I'm actually working or excited to work on the Doom Tower. You basically go up these stages and then you have to fight bosses, and you have to like strategize, like what are the best champions that are gonna make me be able to fight this boss properly. I've actually got 4 really good champions to get you started thanks to Raid. The first you'll get straight away as soon as you use my link or QR code. This is UUGO. They're a support champion. They're basically going to keep helping to revive and keep your team alive. They're like really useful and going to help you massively in the early game. Once you reach level 15, you will get RECTOR DRATH. But this is another really good healer that's going to help you a lot. But here's a little bit of a secret as well. If you go to promo codes, as soon as you make your account and type in Monkey King, you do indeed get Sun Wukong. And it gets even better than that, probably even honestly better than Sun Wukong. If you just play and just log into the game and just tap one button for 7 days straight, you will then get Alice the Wanderer, who's a new legendary champion. And this is the one I've been using. And you can see I played quite a lot. In fact, I even have a new Raid Shadow Legends channel where I'll be posting all sorts of stuff, giving you some tips on how to get started and the whole experience of Raid Shadow Legends. You can check that in the description as well. And for the new champion stuff, specifically Alice the Wanderer, it's all limited time, so you're going to want to check it out as soon as you can. Clicking that link and playing this free game will also help me out a lot. So yeah, if you do, please let me know. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the tier list. Next, let's go to Pathfinder. I'm going to put Pathfinder in A. Actually, look, Pathfinder grapple is amazing, but having a 30-second cooldown takes away from the fun, and it's a bit annoying. Like, I want to grapple all the time. I want to have movement available as much as humanly possible, and a 30-second grapple kind of sucks. So Pathfinder is still a lot of fun, but it's in separated use cases. Like, you can't have fun all the time. You can only have fun every 30 seconds, which kind of is a bit limiting when you compare a lot of the other movement abilities, which we'll get into in a second. All right, let's do Newcastle. Newcastle to me is actually pretty fun, but it's got to be lower than Pathfinder. Like, Newcastle's really good. His ultimate's got a lot of potential for repositioning. The mobile shield gives you a lot of freedom to kind of have less focus on if you're out in the open too much, because you can throw your mobile shield down. It allows you to cross open space, but it doesn't really have like too much fun potential, in my opinion. Not too much movement besides the ult, so a bit limiting there. Watson, I'm gonna put Watson in A. There's something really satisfying about setting up good fences and getting people caught in the fence as you're using movement, especially around zipline buildings and entrances to the doors on the zipline buildings. I think it's so satisfying. Watson is really satisfying. She also has a smaller camera height, which is kind of a big deal. Small camera height legends just feel like they're moving faster, even if they're not moving faster. So Watson is a big yes for me. Fuse, absolute S tier. Like, Going up against a fuse can be like F tier experience. So being the fuse is S tier, especially with the new backpack changes for assault classes. You just get more grenades. You know, most of the fun in Apex is based on around movement abilities, but having a ridiculous number of explosive abilities is also really, really fun. I cannot deny it. So great tactical, great oppressive firepower of all of the grenade slots now going. And the ultimate is also Carnage. Fuse is always great fun. Valkyrie. I would actually put Valk in... Valk is really fun. She kind of had a bit of time in the past where her jetpack wasn't very good. They buffed it up a lot. She's feeling very close to how she launched at the start. The jetpack feels a lot better to handle. It's a lot more fluid. You can do some pretty cool jukes with it. I like Valkyrie's current kit. It's a lot of fun. And I think there's a lot of potential in the jetpack that a lot of people are still sleeping on. And for a pub stomper, very, very awesome. For ranked, you have so much freedom to just travel across the map and hunt down players, which is really cool. All right, Vantage. Vantage to me is super fun. I like snipers. I like the Sentinel. Vantage's sniper is super strong, super powerful. I also think her dash is super underrated. Like, it used to be clunky when it first launched, but they've improved it a lot. It's feeling a lot better at moving through the air, and you don't bump your head on stuff as much. Like, it does work fairly well without the jankiness of it too much. It feels fun, fast-paced. I wish the cooldown was shorter, just because I love moving around, but that would probably be a bit too powerful. Definitely a really strong, fun legend for sure. Sia. F tier. Sia's going to stay here. Sia's boring. Like, what, you look at people through walls, you get health bar above their head. Not much fun in Sia's kit, not going to lie. There's not even much to talk about with Sia. Moving on. Loba. Loba essentially is just two bracelet teleports and a loot. You just get what loot you want. Like, I can't really put her past Pathfinder, let's be honest. Like, even if Pathfinder has a slow cooldown, a grapple is still more fun than two teleports. Like, she is fun to play, but she's not, like, super amazing. Unless you really care about just getting the loot you want, then sure. But yeah, nothing too great about Loba. Revenant. Revenant kind of feels fun. Nah, you know what? Revenant, I'm going to put an A tier. Revenant has some really cool wall climbing mechanics that I think are really awesome. You can do some really awesome stuff with that. Revenant's dash in the air is okay, you know. The Ash Dash just puts it to shame now. Ash Dash feels so much better, but a Revenant charge paired with a nice ultimate can you still feel like the raid boss sometimes, especially when you have the new red mythic helmet. So pretty fun, pretty fun. Crypto. You may disagree, but I think Crypto can be quite fun. He's not the most fun character in the game, but honestly, you can do some pretty cool things. You're not as invisible now, but if you take the perk, you can still sort of be invisible, and you can have some fun moments around that. And I think that Crypto's use of the drone to like scout and then EMP to start a fight can actually be quite enjoyable. I think Crypto has some fun sort of brain dopamine releasing gameplay elements that can't be received on another legend. Like, he has some, you know, you use your brain a little bit with his kit, and then you have fun. Mirage, absolute S tier. If there was an S plus tier, maybe Mirage would be in it. It's so fun to bamboozle people. Like, even in ranked, you can still bamboozle people. It happens all the time, and there's so much more power to do it now. You go invisible when you res people. Sorry, you go invisible when you pop shield, pop meds and stuff. You have so many more chances to go invisible. You get the ultimate all the time. You can throw your bamboozles out all the time, because if you got the right perk and someone shoots your bamboozle, then you can just throw it out again. There's so much chances for bamboozling, and oh my god, like, if I had to only play one legend for the rest of the game, I'd probably play Mirage, because you can just get really, really smart with bamboozling people. It's incredible. I'm going to put Catalyst in C, because Catalyst's name begins with C, and no, wow. Besides that, she's not really the most fun to play. I mean, she's a controller. legend, which usually puts you in a bit of a shaky place when it comes to enjoyment because you don't have much chances for mobility abilities rather. Cat, some outplays can happen with the wall, which can feel pretty fun, but she's not like exciting to play, honestly. Ballistic. Now, I think there's a certain enjoyment out of popping your ultimate and just going all in, especially if you've got like a Kraber or a Havoc in your sling, because now you can put cap extra weapons in the sling. Also, having 4 tactical uses just feels ridiculous. Is it actually that good? Most of the time, no, but it still feels pretty crazy to just be running around with 3 guns. I run like a Sentinel, Mastiff, and then like maybe an R301 or a Rampage or whatever else I want to put in my sling, and it just feels really satisfying. Yeah, he's got that same sort of like run and gun feel that Fuse has in a way. Like, not all characters have to have only movement based abilities to be fun, and I think Ballistic's a good example of that. Alter. I think Alter is underrated when it comes to having fun. You can have some outplays. Okay, there's one thing that bothers me with Alter, and it's her cooldown on her tactical. It's way too long. I think it's 30 seconds like Pathfinder's Grapple. But if you're just playing pubs or you're like hot dropping, playing in and out of the portal and just outplaying people is so cool. And now you can have 2 of your ults down. You can teleport back and forth. It has some real fun outplay potential that you can just completely like outplay people. It's so fun. It's just the cooldowns are way too long, and that's it really. If she had shorter cooldowns, I'd probably put her higher, but yeah, long cooldown on the tactical, so you can't have as much fun as you want. Well, there is a perk to reduce the cooldown, so that's kind of nice, but then you only get 1 ult, so Lifeline. She has a drone that feels pretty nice. And she's a small hitbox character, so she feels like she's running around faster. She doesn't actually have any traditional movement abilities, but she has her ult. I feel like Lifeline's pretty fun to play. Just obviously not the best, but yeah, pretty decent. And I think it's because of that nice drone now on her passive. Wraith. I'm going to be honest. Wraith isn't really that fun to play. She literally, when she activates her tactical, there's a really long delay. She has a port. There are 3 different portals in the game now. You got Altar's port, Ash's port, and Wraith's. Wraith's is the most boring, honestly. Yeah, honestly, Wraith is not. Looking at it now, Wraith is kind of boring. Genuinely, like I wouldn't get that much fun out of Wraith's kit because her abilities just are so sluggish to activate. She's not like she used to be. Genuinely, like. I would put her in D tier. Maybe that's a bad take, but D. Bangalore. Now, Bangalore. I'm going to put Bangalore in C. She's just a bit higher than Wraith simply because she can smoke. Sorry, smoke? What? Her passive, when it activates, she gets a speed boost, which is nice. And she can heal in her smoke and do some fun outplays with the smoke. But mostly it's just that passive that kicks in every time you get shot. That's quite nice. Gibby, S tier, if you have the finisher where you jump on them. Besides that, probably... Ooh, I think there's something quite satisfying about Gibby, Dome, and shotguns. It feels pretty nice. But now that Maggie's ball can destroy it again and Crypto's EMP can destroy it again, I'm not going to put him too high, but I genuinely think there's something quite enjoyable about playing Gibby Dome fights with shotguns, and it's going to satisfy a certain set of people out there. Now I'm gonna put him C. Actually, I can't put him on the same lines of Pathfinder and Alter. There's no way, but he's pretty good. Conduit. I actually think Conduit's pretty fun. Probably. And she gets a speed boost when she's running towards her teammates. So that feels nice, and she can have passive shields, and she's a small hitbox character. But she doesn't really have any traditional movement, and besides just those very basic abilities. She doesn't really have any fun factor, but there is something quite satisfying about playing her. I think it's just the fact that you always get that bit of speed boost every time you run towards your teammates. It feels good, but not like amazing. Rampart, S tier. Rampart's turret is so fun. It's so busted. It's still the most powerful gun in the game by a long shot. It does so much damage. You can mow down everybody with this thing. And I guess maybe I'm a bit biased because I've had a lot of experience with Rampart, but once you get used to placing the walls and picking them up, you can do some crazy things with her. And she's really fun to play around indoors when you can block doors with the Rampart walls and set up sight lines. She's a lot of fun. But mostly I would say in pubs, if you're hot dropping, that's the most fun you can get out of Rampart. Yeah, the hot drops, where you're inside in buildings and not all of the doors have been blown up yet. That's where Rampart's fun. Bloodhound gets some credit because Bloodhound's ultimate is pretty fun, but I think recon abilities in their essence don't really provide as much value than, say, a movement-based ability, but Bloodhound does have a pretty fun ultimate, so I can't deny that. Maggie S tier. Maggie's ball is really fun. Chaotic. The drill is great. Maggie is fun in the same ways that Fuse is. Just oppressive, annoying, chaotic, fast-paced, and also using shotguns. You feel like you're a superstar running around. Double Mozam Akimbo. That's 4 Mozams. Akimbo Mozams with Maggie's perk. You go super fast. By default, Mozam is a pistol, so you have pistol strafe speed, which matches the same speed as if you were holstered. When you have Maggie, you go faster than holstered, so pretty cool. Octane, S tier. Stim, press button to go fast is a great ability, and I love the fact that you can do it so often, and you can even get perks now to reduce the amount of damage you take, so you can just stim to your heart's content, pair that with tap strafing, wall jumps, and go crazy. You got jump pads all over the place. Octane is a great example of just having fun because he's not like meta by any means. He's never really been meta, but he is so enjoyable, and his stim just perfectly change off of the base lurches in this game. Most abilities don't so much. Horizon, I'm going to put Horizon in B tier. Pretty middle of the pack. Like, she's fun. Her extra movements whilst in the air can feel pretty nice and flowy, and it's great when you I forgot her passive. When she lands off like a grav cannon or off height and she gets that speed boost, her movement doesn't get slowed. That's pretty satisfying. The grav lift is a movement ability, but I think it's kind of lame. Like, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. It could be better. But the passive, you can do some cool stuff with the passive, especially on like Storm Point or E-District with the mini grav cannons. Super fun character. Caustic. Unless you're... Why is there an E tier? Does anyone actually use E tiers? I don't know. Unless you're playing to try and trap people in bunker, which is S tier. Probably C, to be honest. Most controller legends just don't really have that much excitement. Caustic feels a little slow. Unless you're literally going for that gameplay where it's trying to like lock people in buildings just to troll them, then that can be quite fun. So yeah, that's my tier list for the most fun legends to play in Apex Legends. What do you think? Let me know. I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.